guys, welcome back to another Football United TV show. We are going to be discussing Lampard today. Here, Chelsea released a statement this morning saying he was sacked. I have two guests with me, very special guests. Got Stephen and we've got Latimus Prime. How are you both doing?
Yeah, not bad.
Right, Prime, I want to come to you first. How do you feel about this?
Weird. We're Chelsea fans.
Yeah, no, it is.
Expected. I know the whole thing of 3 days until or games until you save your job or something like that, or until you get sacked. Which I don't really like that anyway, because my thing is, if you're going to sack a manager, sack him. Don't wait. Don't say, oh, you only this amount of games or whatever. It's weird. But it's weird. I thought he would get at least until the end of the season, because he is a club legend, or kinder, I should say. It's a part on mutual consent, or mutual agreement, I should say. But again, like I keep saying, like the people who were saying Lampard should stay and stuff like that and give him time, don't be surprised if he does get sacked, because we've done it to our legends before. So, and Chelsea is that ruthless club. We've been much more ruthless in the past, and I get we are trying to change not just the way we play, but our approach to things and give managers time. And I'm okay, and I'm good with playing this. Well, I don't like attractive football. If we're going to play attractive football and win with it and everything, I'm fine with that. If we're going to build with a manager or whatever, I'm fine with that. But not someone who is inexperienced. I think what we're doing now, because what Tuchel is getting 18 months or something with his contract. I think what we're doing now is building towards Nagelsmann and setting up a bit of a plan and foundation, like what City did with Pep, getting Mancini and Pellegrini. Arsenal, or when Wenger first came in, he had a foundation with Graham. I think so. I think that was the guy. When Fergie came into Man United, it took him 3 years to set a foundation. Yeah. Fergie came to Man United. It took him 3 years to set a foundation for us before they could actually do anything and achieve some sort of success. And we know how successful Fergie is. So Tuchel comes in, it's 18 months. I think he'll lay a foundation and set up things before Nagelsmann comes in. And also, funny enough, 18 months is how much Frank has left on his own contract.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Stephen, as an Arsenal fan, how do you feel about this situation? Like how it was handled? Like, was it expected? Like, did you expect it this soon? Like, what are your thoughts and feelings on this?
I'm not surprised. It's Chelsea all over since Abramovich took over. Right, they chop and change managers here and there, but in the end, you can't really argue with that, because they've gone on and won things. Right, this is what Arsenal should be doing right now. If we want to act like a big club, we shouldn't be accepting 10th place with Arteta. We should be getting rid of him, right, and getting a proper manager that will get us back up the table. But the thing is, our board won't do that. So, and this is the difference between why Chelsea have been more successful than Arsenal, right, since the Abramovich era. So yeah, for me, as an Arsenal fan, I'm jealous, to be honest, because the only probably reason I wanted Lampard in is maybe Arsenal had a chance of finishing above you, right? But then I did watch the game on Saturday, right, and it just reaffirms to me that we ain't getting anything from this season. So yeah, for me, it was written on the cards, right, and I do feel that the way some people reacted, that's not fair to Lampard. Right, he has done a lot for your club. Right, he's Chelsea legend, as we all know. Right, it's gone on and won things with your club. So to be sort of treated by the fans sometimes the way he has been, it's not fair.
I mean, we are joined by Laurie. Big up, Laurie. Laurie, what are your thoughts and feelings on this? Like, Lampard is gone. How do you feel?
ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today.
Sorry.
Bow our
Why
head
you never on camera on my streams, man?
Oh, God.
and say the prayers that we said for our rival have come back to haunt us. And it is with great shame and disappointment that we lay our heads down and say a prayer for Seth Frank, and may his career go on to more success in the championship where he belongs. And although he was a legend for our club, we are disappointed to see him go. And I just want to close by laying down my hat.
You for our club?
Well,
You said legend for our club? You said legend for our club?
I'm messing about, man. I'm speaking on behalf of the
Okay,
job.
clip that up. Clip
Oh, it's beautiful.
that.
I'm
Oh, it's
speaking on
beautiful.
behalf of
Anyway, legend, you know, if anyone knows religion, then you know when you pray answers, but not exactly the way you expect. Pray for your rival. Actually, no, let me not say that. I don't think that.
Yeah.
But no,
We don't want to be saying that again.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong
I
button.
do, not gonna lie, I do thank him because everything I expected, he kind of did. So yeah, I do thank him. Tammy and Mount do have first team minutes in the squad, a lot of them. Probably too much, but they do have first team minutes in the squad now, which means for Tuchel coming in makes it a bit easier. We've got a leader in the team in our defense. We're missing. I mean, this transfer window probably would have happened with or without Frank, but we're missing probably one, maybe two more pieces in the team: a goalkeeper and a DM. I'm not saying we're winning the league next season, but we are challenging because no one else is that. City are falling away. I don't expect Man United to win the league this season, and next season will be a proper challenge for them. He will probably win the league, but again, next season.
I mean, I think we have to remember that, like,
Let's see them get to win the league.
Yeah. I think people say, like, I think people forget that, like, for me, when I talk about Lampard managing Chelsea, I separated him from the club legend status. Like, he to me will always be a club legend, and that's fine. But I had to separate the fact that he was a club legend, and I had to. His managerial career is not his football career. And there's the difference with Lampard fans, is that there are two different things. His managerial career is different to his football career, and people need to remember that. Like, they genuinely need to remember it's different parts of his career. And when I say that Lampard didn't do well in the club, like, he was chucked in the deep end and he couldn't deal with it. Like, it was just too much for him. He didn't have the experience and he didn't deal with it, like, well. And I think personally for me, like, that doesn't take away that he's a legend, but he did need to go, like, in my opinion.
I mean, it's like with Arteta in a way. He's been thrown in the deep end and he's been asked to swim, right? And at the minute he didn't swim, he drowned. So, and you could say that with Arteta at the minute as well, right? But the thing is with Arsenal, like I said with Arsenal, is that they'll give him till next season and then give him another contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
now, all jokes aside, go on, Prime, go on. All jokes aside, it was too soon. Who's going, me or you, Prime?
He's lagging.
You go, because you're going to say something that I'm going to say. You go.
No, I was just saying, all jokes aside, I think it was too soon, way too soon. The same with like Stephen was saying, Arteta. These jobs, they've come too soon for them. They're not ready for these jobs. They're not mentally and prepared for what's in store. And in fairness, if you look at the track record of a lot of ex-players that become managers, it's very few and far between that actually are very successful. And
Yeah.
it's hard to be successful from the start. I mean, you've got people like Steve Bruce, Mark Hughes, Tony Adams, Paul Ince, to name a few. Roy Keane, even if you look at their managerial careers, they've been absolutely disastrous, but yet they get lots of jobs, and it's shocking that that happens. What you should be doing is being a number two or working at a lower level before you go to a higher level. The fact that he came in from one season with Derby was ludicrous, and I think a lot of your fans already expected him to fail in him getting the appointment of the job. And now that it's happened, you've got the Lampard outs that were told you so, and the Lampard ins who are looking at it in terms of, because he was a legend with the club, they can't separate that from the managerial side. And it's a pity that it happened this way. It's a pity that he's gone.
But you need to do that when you're a club legend and you're taking over a different role in football. People aren't judging Peter Cech for his job as a goalkeeper and how he is behind the scenes now. That's not how it works. You have a manager and a football career, and that's it. And you have to separate them. Like, because if you don't, you just get so warped up in this world that Lampard's doing so good when he's not. Like, how does 17 out of 24 points sound to you? Because it doesn't sound appetizing to me. Like, and I'm not saying Frank Lampard isn't still a legend. He is, but I mean, it is what it is. Now, Football United TV, Matt is on the stream. He says Lampard is Celtic or Newcastle United manager. Anyone agree with that?
Oh, if Lampard goes to Celtic, he's beaten Gerrard easily. Give them both full seasons.
He ain't getting back at 26 over.
Laurie, relax. I'm joking. Don't bait. I'm joking. Don't make it get clipped up.
I was thinking, if he did that, then Chelsea will hire him back. He falls like a 26 deficit.
I know.
I've already suggested his next job will be Klopp's tactical advisor.
His next job is Arsenal manager.
Fuck off.
He's better than Arteta. Well, no, he'll get Newcastle manager or West Ham. Either Newcastle or West Ham, which is a good job. They're both good jobs.
West Ham would be a good shout. He's been there.
West Ham, yeah.
West Ham, he started his career there.
And Mount can go on known to West Ham.
But then David Moyes, to be fair, David Moyes is not doing too bad of a job at West Ham.
Yeah. Prime, I've got a question. Prime, I've got a question for you now. Because Lampard was very set on the players he played, do you think we're going to see more of a switch up when, I believe, the new manager comes in? Like, do you believe there's going to be more of a switch up? Do you think players that were benched or we haven't seen much of will be played more?
I've got a theory on that.
Not a huge drastic switch up automatically because you have to settle in slowly. But what I think our back five is fine. The back four and goalkeeper, I think that's fine. I think, well, I say fine. I say Kepa's better than Mendy, but whatever. Mendy, cool. If you're playing a pivot, like a two-man midfield,
Jack Runnison,
or you're playing a three, I hold on.
I think.
Yeah, go
honestly,
on,
I feel.
I think he might switch. Sorry, that's my fault. I think he might switch to a double pivot, with Kante and like Jorginho or Kovacic.
Yeah,
and then he'll play Havertz at 10, where he's most comfortable, and then Werner up top. And I think we'll see more of Callum Hudson-Odoi playing slowly, introduced and playing because
Are you sure about that?
I mean, the Leicester game, for example, Callum had in quite a while in a game that wasn't a cup game, and it didn't make sense playing him against Leicester. What if they win that game? They went, which they did. They go top of the table. They're in a title race. Playing them against one of the best league this season in your first start. Of course he had a bad game. And I don't even think he played that bad. But because the whole team played bad, Callum couldn't really do much. It's different from coming off the bench the last 10 minutes of the game and having an impact. You can come on with all the talent you have. He can come on and make an impact against tired men. But if you're coming on against one of the best teams in the league, it's one of the best teams in the league when you don't play much anyway, it's not going to look good. So I think it'll be slow impacts, but I don't think he's going to make massive. Maybe tactically he's making changes, but in terms of personnel, I don't think he's making many changes. Like, I don't think we're going to see anything drastic like Emerson or Alonso.
No,
unless he's
do you
playing
think?
a bad.
No. Obviously,
That's the thing,
I don't want that. But do you think that like Hudson-Odoi is going to get more time? Do you think Mount's going to get rested? Do you think Mount's going to be playing more? Like, do you think Abraham's? That's kind of what I meant. I didn't mean tactic, like the formation and how they're playing. I meant like, do you think players that have played so much this season are actually gonna get rested, and we're gonna have different players? Like,
so sorry, I'm sorry. I don't think. I'm worried Hudson-Odoi and Abraham are going to get time at all, right? And it worries me.
Hudson-Odoi will.
As me, I'm an English supporter as well, so I'd like to see my English players like grow and develop, right? And the way Hudson-Odoi has been treated this season, right? But he's been one of your far better players this season, right? Has been atrocious, and I'm disgusted he doesn't get the game time that he deserves, right? But for me, Tuchel coming in, with that German connection, I don't see Hudson-Odoi getting time.
Do you know what? I think
if he doesn't get time, if he doesn't get time, then Hudson-Odoi should have gone to Bayern Munich.
Do you know what? I said no. Wait. I believe that he should have gone to Bayern Munich with the Frank Lampard situation. That he wasn't played, and the fact that Bayern Munich still want him is a chance for Tuchel to start actually using him and actually start making the most out of him, because he's that player that brings the spark that, like, even though the team's not been playing great, has always come on and given that. Just a shout out to Brandon, and Winter Surfer is here. Guys, what are your thoughts and opinions on that? Like, how do you feel Frank's gone? What's thoughts and opinions?
Oh well, I just think it's like Thanos, man. It's inevitable. I will say it was a classy thing for Abramovich to actually put a personal statement in. Never seen that before.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be quick because I'm on my lunch break and I've got to go back. I just want all these Lampard inners who've got severe Lampard Stockholm syndrome to really get over it and really look at the big picture. It wasn't the right time. He wasn't good enough. And he lost the dressing room. There was no coming back from that.
Can you tell that to the Arteta in brigade?
I'm not worried about you. We're a bigger club. We've acted, so we moved on. So no, but on a serious note, our main focus now is Wolves game. Lampard in us. You got a couple of hours to get over it, and we focus on Wolves, and we're done. We need to save this season. That's why I didn't want an interim manager. I wanted a permanent manager. Or whatever that means these days, anyway.
Yeah.
But I just wanted that. But that's all I wanted to say. But have a good one, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Winster, for stopping.
Monster,
we are joined by Monster. Monster, I know. We all know your opinions on like Lampard. How are you feeling about this? Like,
are you happy?
I already
knew. Clap your hands.
No. Do you know what it is? I already knew this was happening from last Thursday.
You posted the tweet, didn't you, this morning, saying since Thursday.
Yeah, since Thursday, I've known already. So obviously it is what it is, isn't it? But it is sad that it had to end this way. But it had to end. Do you know what I mean? It really did have to end. Lampard is still going to be who Lampard is, the legend. Do you know what I mean? The absolute legend. He did well with us as well, and we're thankful for that, innit? And we move on from now on. Hopefully there's a bounce. We try and get top 4 even higher, and we see how it goes from here on, innit? It's a shame had to end this way, but sometimes you have, for the best of the club, you just have to end it. Do you know what I mean?
But you've got people saying like that said, like, it was on Sky Sports. I was watching Sky Sports this morning as they were announcing it, and they were saying like 70% of people weren't happy with this situation. But if you look at it statistically, and I don't just talk out of personal opinion, I talk with facts and statistics as well. Like, fact, 7 out of 24 points is not acceptable. Like, and anyone saying otherwise, like, I'm questioning your ability to be a Chelsea fan, because no one should be happy with that. You should always want better for your club to do better.
Charlotte,
you should have won 7 out of 24 points. End of. Hold on, Stephen. I just want to get Brandon's opinion first. Sorry. Brandon, what are your thoughts and opinions on this?
Yeah, Chelsea are ruthless, aren't they? Absolutely ruthless. He deserved to go. I'm surprised that he got as long as what he did. I would have thought that he would have gone a little while back, I think he sort of messed himself up a little bit, really, because he did all right with your young players that he sort of brought through the academy and stuff like that. And then he went and spent loads of money in the summer. And when you spend loads of money like that, you put extra pressure on your shoulders to, achieve better things. The one thing that I'd say as well is, Arsenal fans, look at Chelsea Football Club. Look at Chelsea Football Club. Things are not going right. They sack their manager, and they will finish above us this season. I've been saying it for a long time. They will finish above us this season.
Also,
whereas we're happy.
Brandon,
sitting down.
Brandon,
we're happy sitting down.
Arsenal, how can Brandon sack club legend Mikel Arteta?
Arsenal, how can Brandon sack? You're funny.
Club legend.
He mixed up his words.
He's no legend. But listen, Thomas Tuchel, I don't know whether he's the right manager or not. The one thing that I will say is he doesn't have to be a great manager. He just has to be a very good coach, because Chelsea have got a ready-made squad there. They've got some good players.
He's actually a very good manager, though.
Yeah, he
exactly.
is.
He's a very good manager. He's
he's done bits at PSG. Like, he was good at PSG. Like,
he's a very good tactician as well.
Can I go back to that 70% that you said about Charlotte?
Yeah,
that 70% aren't happy about this appointment. If you're all Chelsea fans, why do you support Chelsea? What do you expect from your club?
But this is
what your club does, though.
Yeah, but it's not even that, Stephen. It's the 70% who are Chelsea that believe that Frank Lampard is still this club legend and haven't actually realised that.
I get that. But
you have to separate.
This is what you do.
No, but you have to separate. As Frank Lampard will always be a club legend, and no one on this, like, even Monster agrees he's a club legend. But you have to separate the fact that he's a club legend and that he is a manager. They're different parts of his career, and he was a manager. He was chucked in the deep end and he couldn't handle it. And I think that's what people have to remember. Like, he still got Champions League last season, and I'm not complaining about that, but it's time for him to go now when we've got statistics like this.
This is why when people said there's bring some sort of Arsenal legend in, like Thierry Henry or Patrick Vieira, I'm like, no. Because we will do the same thing. We will back Henry or Vieira. I mean, there's people that back Arteta thinking he's a legend now, right? What will happen if we brought Vieira and Lampard, Henry in? We'll never get him. We'll never get rid of him.
Stephen, is Henry? Henry is the Arsenal's greatest legend, yeah.
Yeah, well, because he's like the greatest goal scorer of all time.
Thierry Henry came in. Wow. Okay, let's just say Henry, because that's my lifetime. If Henry came in, you guys would.
Let's send them.
Who's on the background?
Mute yourself, bro.
Is there something?
Bro, you can hear something coming. Feedback.
Yeah, who's got the feedback or something playing?
It might have been me, but I got it in the headphones. So I don't know why it's playing back into.
Oh, mad loud, bro.
It's probably plugged in. We can hear it. But yeah, as I was saying, if like, that's why bringing in legends, you have to make sure they're actually ready and they're capable of doing their job, because like, football is the results of business at the end of the day, and if you're not getting the results, fans will revolt, and you don't want that happening. I mean, Frank got sacked, and he had to go. I did want him to go, but again, I don't feel happy about it.
I mean, Brandon, how would you feel? How would you feel if Vieira or Henry was in Arteta's position and we're still the same as we are?
Exactly.
it still wouldn't be good enough. I mean, you look at it, right, and you would have
But
thought
we get so much more views, wouldn't we?
yeah, but you would have thought like a legend of the football club
Yeah, of course.
would come in and automatically gain the respect of the dressing room. That doesn't seem to have happened at Chelsea. I doubt it would happen at Arsenal. You've got too many players who've got their own little agendas and that. And I don't think it'd work out.
No,
anyway.
he did.
But then you'd also expect him if he loved that club, if he's a legend of the club and he loves the club. Sorry, Prime. If he loves the club and has the respect and everything, even if he didn't perform well and he realised the writings on the wall, right? Surely, if he loved the club that much, he surely would like think that the best thing to do is like, nah, I'll go resign, can't do it. But I think that was where Lampard was just too stubborn in his, and you can see with his managerial career, he was too stubborn, right? Reluctant to change things, like calling people out. Right, I mean, you're not Jose Mourinho. You're not going to be able to call people out and get away with it.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of issues with a lot of managers at the minute. Unfortunately, Chelsea are the ruthless ones, where if something's not going our way, we will just cut you out. Like, that's always been Chelsea's mantra since Roman took over. Like, Roman wants to win. And I think it was harder because obviously Frank's been not just part of Chelsea as a manager, but as a club legend as well. Like, he's been there for so long. And I think that decision made it harder. But the right decision sometimes is hard. Like, and it does take a toll on you. But sometimes you just have to cut the cord and be horrible. Because if you don't, your club will end up the players didn't look like they were playing for him. Like, he was trying everything and nothing was working. Like, the players looked like they weren't listening to him or taking anything on board. And there was no spark, if you get what I mean. Like, when the players were playing, there was nothing like energetic or something like that on the pitch. And it didn't, when they were on the pitch, they looked dead. And that wasn't
appetizing. But this is where I have the biggest
watch.
issue with Chelsea. This is where the biggest issue with Chelsea is that so many players. How many times have you had to get rid of managers because your players are down tools or not playing for
but the problem is you can't get rid of all the players that were frustrated.
Yeah, I know that, but how many times has it happened?
You know, I'm not even saying that. I'm not debating that. But it's easier to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of the players. Matt said, if Lampard won the FA Cup, would this have been a bit more difficult to do?
Probably.
Chelsea isn't.
Do you know what? I don't think it would have been more difficult.
Abramovich cares of one thing: the league and the Champions League.
He don't care about any other trophies. So.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. I think a trophy is a trophy, and that's great for us. And we don't rule out the FA Cup. The FA Cup is still a good cup, but it's not the Premier League and it's not the Champions League. There's the difference. I think the problem you have is that, I mean, it's a hard one because I have nothing but respect for Lampard right now, but the best decision has been made. Like, he wasn't doing well. Personally, I didn't think he'd go until after the Wolves game, and I was talking to some of Chelsea fans about this, and we all said that we don't think he's going to go till after the Chelsea game. But I'm glad he has, because it gives us more time. Because if he'd have stayed, I don't think we would have got very far in any of our games. I think we have a chance now of beating teams now. And the Champions League's coming up and we've got Atletico Madrid. And I thought, if Frank Lampard was there when we're playing Atletico Madrid, they're going to have an aggregate of at least 10-0. I genuinely thought they were going to destroy us, because the way we've been playing, I mean, we struggled to beat a 10-man Burnley, and the only two wins that we've had recently are the decent wins, are the Morecambe and the Luton, and they're not even big sides. They're not even you know what I mean? And I get a win's a win. I'm not taking that, but I want to be beating bigger sides. We haven't beaten the top 6 this season. We haven't been capable of doing that. That's embarrassing statistic. We've beaten we're 9th. I think that says enough, to be fair. We need to start winning some games, getting some momentum going. I think that's really necessary for when the next manager comes in, because we have Wolves in 2 days
Tomorrow.
time. Like,
I thought it was tomorrow. Is it not tomorrow?
Hold on, let me check. My brain is gone.
But the thing is, you've spent 260 million and you're 2 points behind the worst Arsenal side in its history, right? Which says it all, right? And the thing is that people go on about the fact that, like, oh, I didn't want Lampard to be sacked, or this, that, and the other. If you then go on with Tuchel, if you then go on with Tuchel next season and say win the league, right, or even win the Champions League with the squad you've got, because that is a quality squad, right? A couple, maybe 1 or 2 additions more, and you've got a squad that could probably win the Champions League even as well next year. If you went on and did that next year, would you have worried about Lampard getting sacked? No. You would all be saying it was the best decision we ever made.
But listen to this now. Like, I know this is gonna sound really stupid, but I'm willing to put this on the line here. But you're saying we could win the Champions League, like, do you know what? I don't want this to come out wrong, but I'm not ruling it. I'm not saying we could win it, but we could do a good job of getting quite far in the Champions League, because we've beaten Atletico Madrid before. Look at that, Conte 2012. Everyone ruled us out. No one thought that we were going to beat them. And what did we do? We beat them. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but I'm saying that we have a chance. We have a fighting chance to do what every other team do, and that is surprise someone and beat a team. That's what I'm saying. We have a chance now because we have a new manager. And that's what I've wanted all along, because I've always said that with Lampard in, we're just going to get thrashed by Madrid. Like, we literally, Atletico Madrid are going to beat us, because it was like, tactically, we need to improve. And Tuchel has the tactics to kind of bring us in and do something for us. Like, and he won't take shit ever. He has that like kind of authority to kind of over players. Like, he knows what he's dealing with. And I think people saw Frank as like kind of as a club legend, not as a manager towards the end. I think the players saw him. Brandon, what do you can say?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you've got to separate Frank the player from Frank the manager. And at the end of the day as well, you've got to look at it like this, right? Chelsea are built on this model where if their manager is not doing well, he'll get sacked. This model that they're built on has made them the most successful team in the last 10 years. So nobody can really complain about it, you know. If Tuchel comes in and he makes a shit job of it as well, he'll get sacked. But this is what makes Chelsea the most successful team in the past 10 years, you know. So
in the end, I wouldn't care why, if it was like, just for example, I couldn't care if it was like Fat Sam or something. If we won the Premier League with him, I couldn't care.
Come on,
winning the league. That's no. I know we're not good. No, but Laurie, but you know what I mean, right? I don't. But Laurie, you know what I mean. Yeah, but Laurie, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who manager you got, right? If you win the league, you don't care.
But for me, like, what I'm quite surprised. Not that Lampard's been sacked. I'm quite surprised you've gone with Tuchel, because I get what a lot of people are saying, but do you think he's going to be there for more than like 18 months, or do you think this is just a quick fix?
Prime. So yeah, sorry. Prime can answer this one. Prime, what are your thoughts on the Tuchel being there for two years, and then what? Come on, Prime, tell us.
It's gonna be a build. Yeah,
but tell Laurie how you feel about like the Tuchel being there for 2 years.
You don't seem long term.
No, I'm fine with
Prime has a plan.
It's a build towards Nagelsmann, so
okay.
If it's 18 months, as long as that takes, then I'm fine with that.
Nothing that Chelsea does is long term, though, especially with managers. You know, like I said, they sack managers, but it's what made them the most successful team in the past 10 years. You can't argue with it if they're winning trophies. You know.
Well, at least, like, apparently, if Rafa's coming back from China, right, at least that's one person off the list that we're gonna have to worry about. if he's gonna take over a football club.
But I mean, this is like a weird one, to be fair, because hold on, we are joint ads. Welcome. Can I get your thoughts and opinions on this situation, please?
Well, what could I say? I think it was about time that he left. Because you guys weren't moving forward. I think the only reason why you guys weren't moving forward is because obviously the team wasn't gelling, and it should have gelled. It should be gelled. It should be gelled, but there was a good patch. I don't know why it couldn't stay consistent. Because like I said, the facts are bad things come to an end, and that's when you need to switch things up. And obviously, 17-game run is something that teams don't usually go on, like Manchester United last season. But all I'm going to say is I appreciate the fans who respect him as a person and are saying farewell, and he did okay, but it's time to move on. But the ones who are celebrating and actually happy that he's going and saying "get the fuck out of my club," that's something I don't respect at all. I've seen a lot of hate that you've been getting. People are happy he's out of the happy. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, no one should be happy that someone's been at your club for over 22 years is leaving now with his head held down, feeling like he's messed up a club that he loves. Yeah, there's not many managers out there. There's not many managers out there who fight for the badge.
I mean, take care, Brandon. I feel like I completely agree. We've got to remember that Lampard is a club legend and we give him that respect. Like, I absolutely agree. We need to respect the fact that, like, he got us Champions League in a situation that was very tough. And he came in and probably did what a lot of people doubted him to do. He still got us top 4, and we have to respect him for that. Yes, this season hasn't gone the way we wanted. It hasn't gone and done what we needed. So I think we need to give him that respect. We can't just be like, am I happy the situation's been dealt with? Yes. Am I disappointed it didn't work out for Lampard? Of course, but I think he wasn't experienced enough, and I think he was chucked in the deep end. I think if he'd had more experience, I think it would have been a different situation. But it is what it is. But I think anyone saying like "get the fuck out of my club" or anything is just not. That's not right. Like, I completely agree with you, Ads. Like, we need to give him that respect. Like, am I happy the situation is sorted now? You're like, I want my club to do well. That's it. I'm not happy that it hasn't worked out. If you understand that.
But it's the second time it happened to him as well. Do you not think before he came back, he was very? I think he was very severely disrespected as well. Do you know, before he went to City, when he got released, the same thing kind of. He wasn't obviously. He was still playing at the time, but he was disrespected quite severely then. The way that they just disregarded him and everything that he done. I feel that his bridges are burnt with you lot now.
In terms of what they bring, in terms of what he brings to the team, he's he's probably top 3 players of all time at Chelsea. And in terms of what he brought to the team, and how much I actually care for the football club. Because I don't see John Terry talking about Chelsea. I don't see Ashley Cole talking about Chelsea. And Lampard was talking about Chelsea before he even came into the role. Like Laurie said, even when he was getting hate from fans. Like, this guy is the most dedicated ex-player I've ever seen. And there's never going to be anyone like Lampard. As a player and as a person.
It's like disrespect. I don't know why he used like Ashley Cole, because he can't decide whether he's Arsenal or Chelsea. He can't make his mind up half the time. Right? But it's like disrespecting Di Matteo, Zola, Hasselbank, right? These players that may not have had the success that you've got now, right? But I hold them as more of the legends, right? Probably because of what I've seen growing up, than like most of the squad that you've had just recently, for example, because they played for your club and they literally cared about every single aspect of your club.
Yeah, no, agreed there. I think. I think the problem you have is that, like,
is that your new mascot for the channel?
Yeah, he is currently new mascot. Yeah, but I mean, it's a hard one. I think anyone being disrespectful shouldn't be being it. Like, he did.
But there's always a minority in football that don't deserve to be part of even society. Let's be honest.
I think the problem you have, like, is that it's a complicated one. I think you've got like a situation where it hasn't ended up well. Like, yes, we all know that it hasn't gone too well. Like, we had that 17 a 7-beaten streak, like where we just continue to do okay, and then we've got this absolute downhill situation.
Even Arsenal the FA Cup.
I mean, like we have a problem, like, and we needed it sorted, like, and we've been ruthless and we've cut people, but that doesn't mean that just because he's gone we give disrespect. It means we handle it appropriately, and we're decent human beings and we act like decent human beings. You don't need to be nasty. You don't need to go below the belt. Like, Lampard didn't do the worst job for us. Did he do the greatest that we'll remember? No. But he was the first club legend to become a manager. Like, why are we not respecting that? Like, yeah. Like, Prime, what are your thoughts on this? Prime. He is muted. I will come back to him.
Okay. I think some of them also forget that, like, because they've seen recent success with Chelsea, they now support Chelsea, and they don't. Like, it's like when I bring up like Zola, they'll probably go, "Who the fuck's Zola?" They probably only know him as an assistant manager, right?
Zola is a legend.
Zola, I'll be honest, right? I could show you photos we got up on the wall, and they were just pictures of me and my sister, right? And we sent them to Gianfranco Zola to have them signed. Honestly, as a man, he's one of the nicest people you can meet. Right? They signed him as yes, right? Honest to God, he's
because he got that ruthlessness. That's why he wasn't successful as a manager. I mean, what?
No, he wasn't even a manager. He was just an assistant.
No, wasn't he in charge of Watford and West Ham?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
He was in charge of Watford and West Ham.
But the thing is that you look at those legends that you've had, right? They probably don't even know what Jimmy Greaves, that he used to play for Chelsea, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah,
Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah,
I think so. But those sort of legends are back in the past. They won't know who a clue who they are, right? Because they don't read their history. It's like with Arsenal fans a minute, right? We're celebrating what we're upset that Ozil left and comparing him to Bergkamp, for example. And I'm like, because you don't read up your history, mate. If you read up your history, you wouldn't even go near doing that. It's just, unfortunately, these new fans, they don't seem to. If I had kids, for example, and say like, even if they weren't Arsenal fans, they became Chelsea fans or Man U fans, I'd buy them the history DVD and say, go read up your history first. Right? Because it's important to know your history of your football club.
I mean, Laurie, what are your thoughts?
No, it's just, ultimately, this hasn't come as a surprise, but at the same time, it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I feel like
the thing with not you, not Prime, not Monster, not Gem, not a lot of you.
Yeah,
I think what
there's a minority.
It's the minority, but what it is, Chelsea. It's not a nice thing to say, but they're suffering from, at the moment, what I would say is like a spoiled brat syndrome, in the sense that because they're so used to being on top and winning all the time,
they're fighting their toys out the pram.
And now they're in a position where they have to start from scratch and build again. Their expectations and their reality are two different things. It's just that they've got a bigger war chest and they've got a manager. I mean, they've got an owner that is very cutthroat and ruthless. And like Stephen has been saying, we don't have the same thing. So that's why it's different between us and you lot, in the sense that, like I said, when it comes to success, that's what Abramovich his motto is. So he doesn't care.
But to be fair, I wouldn't mind that though, Laurie, because
I wouldn't mind that at our club as well. But until we get new owners, that's not going to happen. But there's no point beating around the bush and moaning and crying about it.
I get that. It's just that a lot of our fan base now, because of the way it's been going with Arsenal, they don't accept being Arteta in and stuck in 10th. Right? They don't accept going back to the top or win the league. They just say, oh, maybe get top 4, that'll be all right.
Right. So I've got a question for both of you. So Tomori's obviously gone on loan recently. Do you think that because we have a new manager that Chelsea will allow the buy clause? Do you think that changes things? Do you think that means Tomori might stay? Like, because he could be a good player, so maybe the new manager might come in and think, you know what, he can go on loan for the minute and we'll bring him back. Do you think there's a chance of him being sold?
Depends.
I didn't understand selling him loaning him out in the first place.
I get for like, do you know what?
Experience, but Christensen and Rudiger should be nowhere near your first team. If anything, he's the one that should be the third choice. And
but we'd have to give away. We'd have to give away Christensen, Alonso, Rudiger, because no one wants them. No one wants to pay money for them. They're literally the only people that are going to pay money for them is the American League. Then we'd have to send them off to the American League because their retirement is coming. It's cooling quickly. Like
no, Charlotte, that's not true. Arsenal will buy him.
Yeah, and then you go to retirement there. But I mean, it's a fair point. Like the only way that we can make money right now is, and I don't even want to say this, is through our youth, because the people we've got to sell are not appetizing or appealing to any other club. Because Alonso, when was the last time you saw Alonso playing?
Last time I heard about a name called Alonso, he was driving in a Formula 1 car.
Exactly. Like. You know, like it's just little things. And he's returning
this season as well, so you'll probably get more performances out of him.
I mean, I do kind of I want Tomori back. I think he's a decent player, like, and do you know what? I wouldn't have minded if it was just a loan spell for the rest of the season. My problem was with that buy clause. I mean, I feel like Lampard's done so much with the youth, and he's been all about the youth. I would have liked Lampard to really voice his opinions on keeping Tomori. Because I think it's important to have that, like, Tomori there as backup. But, I mean, we've got Matt on.
The problem is with his record. The problem is with his record in the league, he couldn't really say a lot, could he?
And do you think Chelsea have a chance of winning a cup this season? Yes, I do.
FA Cup?
Yeah, that's genuinely the only cup.
What's on in it?
I'm not saying it's the only more likely one because we've had an easy 2 games. Like our next game's going to be easy too. Like I would like to see us win a cup this season, 100%. Like the likelihood of it, maybe not. Like it depends what this new manager comes in and does. But that is all dependent.
Well, the only thing you can win, I'm sorry, the only thing realistic you can win is the FA Cup. If you get knocked out of that, it's done.
But do you think...
It's like with Liverpool in a minute. They ain't going to win the Champions League. Let's get that right. They're not going to win the Champions League. That's why when they got knocked out by Liverpool, that's why they got knocked out by Man United. Why it hurt, not just because of the fact that they've been knocked out by Man United, but that's the end of anything in terms of a trophy this season.
Yeah.
And their 3-4 has been unbelievable.
Don't you think though, Charlotte, if your season ends how our season ended last year, then that's a complete regression and a disaster for you to come 8th and win the FA Cup? I wouldn't. I mean, a lot of people would troll you.
I'm not happy with that. I'm not even happy about that. What I want is top 4, which I've always said I've wanted this season. I've never said any different. I've always wanted top 4. And I would like the FA Cup, like that would, because I think this season that's me being realistic. If I was going to be unrealistic, I'd say I want more.
Choose one.
The top 4.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because that gives us Champions League next season. And if we have a manager like Tuchel coming in, that gives us more of an opportunity to kind of show out what we've got, like, and build on getting trophies.
Plus, you've got players that don't deserve to be in the Europa League.
We don't like our players. The amount of money we've spent, 260 mil, we don't deserve to be in it. I'm not saying we don't deserve the way we're playing at the minute, yes, but if we're looking at the fact that we've got a new manager and things could be turning around, then I'd say no.
This is the thing. Like, even if you finish 8th and won the FA Cup like we did last year, like, I'm not worried about with Chelsea, but like the fact that they don't accept that. I know they don't accept that, and so next season they'll vastly improve. Whereas we just buy 1 or 2 players and just go, yeah, maybe we can get top 4 if we get these 2, but we're not over the moon. We're not like gonna cry about it if we don't. Right?
Yeah, I think
the only reason we're saying that 8th in the FA Cup was better than finishing top 4 is because that's what we did last season.
Yeah, I think we can't. Do you know what I've said this? If Frank hadn't have left, and I've said this since day one, that I think we would have finished 8th. Like, and that's my personal opinion. But that's just me basing on the fact that I didn't see anything looking up while Frank was there. Like, it was a two-way thing, and I thought that we could have finished 8th. But I think now we have a chance to bring it back and actually kind of finish in the top 4. And I think it's going to be hard work. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's just going to be a plain walk. But I think that with the players we've got, and if we get a decent manager, and if it is Tuchel, I think we have an absolute chance of fighting for top 4.
Oh, do you know what I forgot?
This season is so unpredictable that I think it's hard to call.
Do you know what I forgot?
What?
Right, you're going to be really happy. Do you know why?
Why?
You're not going to get an Arsenal tattoo.
Yes, I mean,
fuck.
The
reason I knew what it is today.
I mean, it is. I mean, you never know. This season could really shock you.
No.
But I think while you have Arteta and the players that you have, I don't particularly think because I've got like a list of players that you need to get rid of. Like,
oh, we've got a list as well.
We've got a list. It's called the 23-man squad.
I mean, now the players that I'd keep in your team: Gabriel, Martinelli, Tierney, and Saka.
Agreed.
Smith
and that's
Rowe?
it. No,
Smith.
I just literally.
Oh, come on! Look how he's performed.
Do you know what? I think you need someone more experienced in that area. If you're gonna,
I know, but you keep him as backup. So seriously, look what he's done.
Okay, so that's 5 players. So you have a 20 man that you're ready to get rid of because, like, has he lived up to his hype though? That's my question.
Yeah, but then to be fair, he has played well, and he's even played well when he's just come back from injury.
No, I'm not saying. I just think your team.
He's had an injury for about 2 months as well. So
the Tottenham game was just foolish. He shouldn't even have.
I've got a question for you. So you guys are playing Southampton again. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how? Because I mean, to me, if I'm looking at it from an outsider's point of view, and I'm going to be honest here, the team that Arteta sent out on the FA Cup on Saturday was an actual joke. I genuinely thought he was having a laugh. Like how El Neni got a start, how he brought.
Do you know what I kept hearing? Oh, he's got to rotate it. No, you don't have to put Willie in there and they're tall. You got. Why are you picking 2 goalkeepers when you got Smith Rowe and Aubameyang not on the bench? Right? Why are you not putting Willock where Willock is? Willian is. I'm sorry. I don't care if you have to rotate the squad. That prick should be on a plane to back in Brazil and back home. Right? So you're nowhere near us.
You needed to bring out a squad that was going to come out fighting. You needed to bring your best squad out because it was a chance of a trophy.
What else we're going to go for?
It was genuinely a chance for a trophy for you, and you guys.
No, I didn't want to win it, Joe. Because look what happened last season. We all got gas. We all backed Arteta and covered the cracks.
What I'm saying is, it was a chance for you to win something. What I'm saying is, the manager's not showing that he wants to win anything. Because if that was me as a manager, I'd want to win something, even if I don't have a chance at it. I'd still want that opportunity, and I'd want to show my players to go out.
What do you expect when he picks Bellerin every week, who's quite happy to sit there and go to a fashion model show rather than actually wanting to win something? He doesn't care if he wins a football match or not. and Arteta doesn't book him for saying that. He fucking plays him.
Literally, like but how do you change? Like, because how are you going to feel if in the FA Cup he's taken it as a massive joke, which, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like he has, and then he turns up on Tuesday.
But no one calls him out. This is the problem. If you call him out, you're a Spurs fan. You're negative, right? You're a bad opinion on towards the Arsenal fan base. No. If you don't call him out, you're fucking deluded, right? And I'm getting pissed off of having to try and be a little bit positive, right, to not be slandered or anything. I'm getting to a point now where I'm just like, fuck you lot. If you don't like it, do one.
We've got Herbert here. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Lampard's gone. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. Chelsea's whole fire and hire business, and on the spot, if you don't get results, you're out. I think it works for them. Not gonna lie. I have a feeling that whoever is the next manager, they have to deliver, especially after they have spent like $300 million on like 6 or 7 players. So not really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not surprised. I don't think a lot of fans were surprised, obviously, that this has happened. But you said Tuchel ain't the man for Chelsea. Give me your thoughts on, like, can you explain why?
Yeah, sure. Because I think he has a very off-putting personality, if I must say, and all his previous club, he has fallen out with the owners. I think he had that he has that racism issue at Istanbul. If you remember with Demba Ba, he wanted to carry out the game when Neymar and Mbappe clearly wanted to like walk out. So he does have a bit of a, I don't know, like maybe a personality which you can't really go with. Maybe the German fellows might understand more, but I don't, like, not sure.
I mean, I think if you look at him tactically, he's a great manager. Like, taking all that aside, like, tactically, he's a great manager. Like, but I mean, yeah, there are some issues like that. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, we need someone at the minute, and if you look at what's available if you look at who's available and compare them, Tuchel's probably one of the most decent ones out of them. Like, you can't really debate that. I've got Matt here. Matt's joining us.
Hello.
Matt, where are you? I thought you looked like you were in Afghanistan.
What?
Very cold.
What are your opinions on Lampard leaving?
I think I told you earlier, didn't I, Charlotte? Can you hear me, by the way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm upset for him. You know what I mean? I do like Lampard. I think, like, as a player, brilliant player. I agree with you, Charlotte. I don't think he's quite the manager at the moment. He was picked too early, I think, from Derby. He should have stayed at Derby, carried on there, and then seen whether he could get into Chelsea a bit later on in his career. But yeah, I feel sorry for him. He was thrown in the deep end. No one was going to take on the job with no transfer budget for the summer and the January. So look, I think, like, hats off to him for getting you Champions League. But yeah, look, after the results this season, it's time to go, isn't it? Time to go.
It's time to go.
Literally agreed there. I mean,
I think, to be honest, I think if you had made a bet on something, I think Oli would have probably been the first guy out of the door. I think most of us would have thought, but I think he's the one doing the best right now. I think that is the difference between Ole and Lampard. I think I don't think both of them are some kind of tactical genius, but the difference is that Oli can at least manage his players.
Oli's
he can manage. Yeah, he has his.
Do you know why I originally thought Arteta would last longest? It's not because he's better than not because he's better, right? It's because our board do fuck all.
I love it, Charlotte, how you're getting kisses there.
Yeah, like, is there, like,
someone needs to do that to Frank right now.
Hang on, is the dog? I swear it's like the advert. Talk to Frank.
But I mean, yeah, no. I think if Frank.
What did he? Hang on, is this one of those? Sorry, I'll just say he also looks like he's one of those dogs as well. That, like, if you if you asked him, did Frank have to go? Oh, yes.
But I think, yeah, Matt, come on. What are your opinions of Tuchel taking over? Because rumours is Chelsea want to sign him before Wednesday, obviously before the Wolves game, which I understand you want to, but I don't know. I mean, rumours are that Tuchel's landed in London today. He's actually in London to sign the contract today. So, I mean, do you think they're going to announce it before or after the Wolves game?
Got to be before.
Apparently, they said today.
At least announce it before, because I think like
at least it's like a weight off the player's chest, and it's not a distraction for them as to who, what, when, why.
Yeah, they know that they let the players know what they're going to go into with the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't leave them in limbo. Just get it done quickly. Tuchel definitely wants to go. You know, that he's not in a job at the moment, and that is the perfect position for him. Do you know what I mean? So get it done quickly, but don't do it after the game. That's what I say.
No, do you know what I said? Apparently, from what I heard from Sky Sports, is that it's going to be he's in London and it's going to be confirmed today, and that the Chelsea players were going to be called into training later in the afternoon. So it looked like it was going to be done by today.
No, they've got better PR than us, so they won't delay it.
Yeah, I think Chelsea don't particularly have a choice. I think something needs to be announced, because I think also if the players don't know and no one's told the players, which I don't think they will till after, I think that's a stressful thing for the players.
Was there a club?
Well, that's what Fabrizio Romano has said.
Yeah, he wrote something. Did the club write anything about it? Have they said anything? Like, have they put out a statement about Frank Lampard and Tuchel?
Abramovich put out, I think, a personal statement.
They put out a club statement this morning. This is the first time Roman's actually ever done something like this, where he's actually commented on a player, which I think was very touching, because I think that that says a lot. He said, Roman in the statement said, this was a very difficult decision for the club, not least because I have an excellent personal relationship with Frank and I have the uttermost respect for him. He is a man of great integrity and has the highest of work ethics. However, under the current circumstances, we believe it is best to change managers. On behalf of everyone at the club, the board, and personally, I would like to thank Frank for his work as head coach and wish him every success in the future. He is an important icon of this great club and his status here remains undiminished. He will always be warmly welcome back at Stamford Bridge. And then it says the club will be making no further comment until such time as a new head coach is appointed. But it's the first time since Roman's taken over that he's ever made a personal comment like that.
Do you know what it tells me, Charlotte?
And that says how much he thinks highly of Frank.
Yeah, do you know what that tells me?
They're friends,
is that
aren't they?
like people disregard Abramovich as not knowing much about Chelsea. He clearly understands how much Lampard is to Chelsea Football Club and how much he represents Chelsea Football Club as a person and a footballer, right? Yeah. So that's probably just recognising what he's done for the club, right, in his career. So, right, and that's fair play to Abramovich, because most people tend to disregard about like him caring about the club. Yeah, he does.
Well, they're actually good mates, aren't they? Them two. They get on really well, actually, don't they? That's the thing. So he's probably just saved his friend. He's like, look, mate, really. Sorry, Herbert.
No, I just think it's also to please the few of the Chelsea fans who are too much sentimental about the club, that they can't separate the player from the manager. Because I've seen lots of Chelsea fans saying that Lampard should have been given time to at least a season more with all these signings. But
you know what?
You can't expect time from.
I would have said that. I would have happily said he would have given more time. But as every fan would not be happy with the fact that it's 7 out of 24 points. That is not acceptable.
Yeah, but then to be fair,
you can't expect that, because realistically, the players weren't playing for him, and you could see that on the pitch. Something has changed since our 17 unbeaten. Something has changed. Whatever it was that changed, which I don't think we're ever going to know. We needed to kind of big up our ideas, and unfortunately, the players didn't look like they wanted to play for him. Something obviously happened, and
do you know what it says to me, Charlotte? Charlotte, what it also says as well is that if you look at his first season, yes, he got to a final, but his season, if you look at his record, his percentage of win records and that, it weren't that great, right? It weren't that great at all, right? He went on an amazing run at the start of the season. If it weren't for the start of the season, they wouldn't have got top 4, right? Because when it came out of lockdown, they were a completely different team, and it just from that point on, it started going downhill, right? And yeah, it picked up again at the start of next season, but in the end, even then you could sort of tell signs that maybe he isn't the right man.
Can I just throw in as well, Herbert? Are you happy that this isn't like Man United's problem anymore? You know, the Ole out, Ole in thing. We're looking at other clubs now that are getting rid of managers, and we're top of the table and winning against Liverpool in the FA Cup. You must be feeling happy this morning.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy, especially after beating Liverpool in the FA Cup. But I'm still very unsure about where this club is really going. I know we are top of the table, but I'm not really sure about winning the title under Solskjaer. But one thing I'll just say is that if you can get him a second coach, like someone who's very into coaching, who knows how to set up a defense and how to attack, I'm okay to stick with the manager. At the moment, we are not playing well. We are getting the results, but we are not playing well. And I would like someone like, in previous times, like Sir Alex used to be the man manager. I think Ole is the man manager right now, but we need someone like an experienced coach like Carlos Queiroz was there under Sir Alex. Just
You say that,
make sure
though,
that we are.
but you say that, but one, you got my feeling there, and two, the fact is, if you're top of the table with 3 points, and yeah, you might not be playing well and you're winning games and still winning games and that, but what more can you ask for? You've been asking like for the team to improve under Ollie, right, and things to progress and get back to the top, right? And the only reason, if you look at the last year and a half, all you've done is go up, up, and up. So I don't see where in terms of direction, I don't know what you can ask for really. What more you can ask for?
No. No, I think we can always improve how we are progressing at the club.
I get
still
that.
want to
It's
see
just
us. Yeah, we still have our results like Arsenal at home. We still lose that. Then we have City, like the City in the cup. We still have
I
those
hear that,
downside
but that
moments.
was in a time that you were struggling to put a run together. From that game on, you ain't looked back since. Let's be honest.
True,
Since that Leipzig knockout, I think, right, and playing Everton, you haven't looked back since, and you've been like, I mean, you play us on the weekend, right? Next weekend, we ain't gonna come near you. We ain't gonna get near you. End the story.
Yeah, see, that's my problem with the team is that when you expect us to perform, we don't perform. We do get the results like Arsenal, and we don't get the one single point from our last 2 Champions League games to qualify.
Let's just say if we beat you this time, then you should be worried.
Yeah, I will be, because this is the first time you have done a double over us.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up now. We've hit the hour 10 mark.
Yeah.
So we are. Herbert, where can people find you on social media and that?
Yeah, it's same @Herbert15.
Perfect. Is that on Twitter or Instagram as well?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. Yeah, it's on Twitter.
Perfect. Laurie.
Say that again, sorry.
It's at Twitter @Herbert15.
Okay.
Perfect. Laurie, where can people find you?
Yeah, my mic's on. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter @LaurieNix XX. Following yesterday, the followers have started slowly creeping up. I've noticed.
Yes, Laurie.
But yeah, you can find me on there. Got a few things in the pipeline. Happy to always come on here. You can find me here with Matt and Shah. You can find me. Yeah, you can find me mainly here with Stephen as well, S-Feetly TV. And as I said, got a few things I'm negotiating at the moment. I've actually ordered a new camera. So I'll be on camera more with lights and looking at a mic as well. I'm looking to get this thing popping off, man. So
yes, Laurie. Big things coming in the pipeline.
Love the intro too, Ollie. Laurie, loved it, mate.
Stephen, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on SVD TV. It's on the bottom there. Yeah, you can find me on there. You can find me on like channels pretty much anywhere. Right, try and get as many channels as I can. I'll just say tomorrow, obviously got watch along at 7 with Arsenal Southampton. And though it's an Arsenal watch along, every fan is welcome, right? Especially if you want to banter us. But before that, which is the most important show of all, right? For my channel, as it raises awareness for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. It's the Liver Awareness Show, where you can come on, ask me any questions about liver disease, childhood liver disease, the charity that I volunteer for, football, F1, you name it, or just life in general. Or if you have any awareness as well that you want to raise, whether it's cystic fibrosis, cancer, Alzheimer's, mental health, anything at all, you can come on and have your say, right, and shout it out. And yeah, there's also a trust giving page that runs alongside that, and that's in every video description, so you can donate to the charity that way. So yeah, and yeah, just see me like keep streaming on that, and yeah, raising awareness for children's liver disease.
Yeah, guys, please go follow Stephen's channel. He does such good work for liver disease. Let's make more awareness, because it is really important. So big up to you, Stephen. Prime, where can people find you?
I don't think he's there, is he?
Yeah, I don't think he's there. I do not
Prime's
think he's
on
there.
DNA. Probably.
Right, we will wrap it up there, guys.
He's giving
Thank
Lampard
you.
the taxi to the airport.
Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you all on, and we will see you very, very soon.
Peace.